Hello, welcome to Happy Vending. I'm Bill, and today we're going to be moving this big 804 stack machine. Stay tuned.
Happy Vending.
So why are we going to move this machine? Well, this is my biggest capacity machine. This holds 804 cans. It's a Royal 804-9. And over in another part of the building, the school that this is located in, it's a little busier over there, and the machine over there only holds 650 cans. And since that's such a busy area, I want to move this high capacity machine because over here I have two machines, and this one doesn't really do that many sales over here. So I'm going to take the drinks that are in that other machine, which are mostly sodas, put them in here, get these energy drinks out, and put them in the smaller machine, which is going to be here. It will actually look better anyhow because the smaller machine is the same height as this one, so you'll have two that are the same height, and the other machine has the same graphic on the front, the same bear, so it'll look pretty much the same. Most people probably won't notice, but as an operator, it will be better. So how are we going to move this machine? First of all, you want to make sure your vending machine is empty before you try to move it. These things empty are about 600 to 700 pounds. So full, it could be very top heavy, and add another 200 pounds to that, and it gets really dangerous. So I've been letting the machine sell out, so most of the columns are sold out, but there are still some, I think, power aids in here. I'll show you. And we're gonna pull those out. And then what we're going to use to move it is actually a new dolly I got that I never had the first time I moved this machine. I moved this machine originally with a pallet jack, which is not ideal. You can move snack machines with a pallet jack because they're on legs and you can get underneath them and then lift them up with the pallet jack. Since this lays flat on the ground, you sort of have to get a couple people to tilt the machine onto the pallet jack, and it's a little iffy. So I just got these Anderson dollies, which are pretty heavy-duty dollies made here in the United States, and they go on the two sides. There's two separate parts of them, and they go on the sides like this, and you ratchet, strap them together, and it pulls the machine up. Makes it a lot easier to move. But even with this, I'm still going to pull out all the product. It's mostly empty except these two back columns. I could probably easily move it with that amount of drink in there, but since they have to come out anyhow to put in the other machine, we're just going to pull it out. The Amish always say many hands make light work, so that's why I always like to bring a lot of assistance with me. I will have to adjust this machine to vend cans. These bottles are 1 deep in the columns. Cans will be 2 product deep, so you will have to go into the menus and adjust some of that, but I'll do that later. The big job, of course, is moving the machine. To get the other side of the dolly in, we have to move this away from the other machine. Now, it's on a terrazzo floor, and if I push it on this, it's going to slide pretty easily, and it's not going to damage this floor. If it were on a floor that is easily damaged, I would get the sliders that they sell in Home Depot that go underneath the feet, and I would put some 2x4s behind the machine to tilt it so that it doesn't go all the way against the wall. It will tilt up, put the sliders in, and then I would pull it back like this, get a couple people, pull it back, put some sliders in the back, and then we would easily move it without damaging the floor. But like I said, this terrazzo is not going to get damaged, so we're just going to pull this away like this. There we go. Then I'll get in here and unplug it. Oh my God, look. Dollar bill underneath the machine. Do you see this? That's free money. We're gonna put the one with the ratchet straps here. You see the ratchet straps on this side, so we're gonna put it right here because we wanna move the machine on the thin edge so we can get down the ramp and push that under like that. Now I got the dollies that have the adjustable bottom plate. You see this here? This has a little pin that comes out right here, and you can move this plate higher or lower. The reason that's adjustable is if you're moving a snack machine, they're not all the way to the ground like that. They're higher because they have feet on the bottom. So you'd have to move this plate up higher. So I wanted the versatility of using this dolly to move a snack machine if I had to, even though I do have a pallet jack in this school. And if I do move a snack machine, I'll usually use the pallet jack. But I have the dolly now that can do it as well. So that's there. I'm going to put this one on the other side. Like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run the straps to these hooks. And you leave the door open because you don't want to run the strap across the plexiglass front because you don't want to put a lot of pressure on this and crack that. So you run this behind the door. Come on over here, Frank. So then we hook that on this eye hook right there, like that. You open this up, takes the pressure off of this. Frank, you over there on the other side? I'm going to hand this to her, make sure we don't flip.
Make sure it's straight.
And get it on that other eye hook. And now Evan's going to ratchet strap both of these at the same time to pull this tight, and we make sure these are underneath. He's going to ratchet strap them, and the machine is going to lift magically in the air. Go ahead, strap, ratchet strap. I don't think Evan's ever used a ratchet strap before.
Well, you told me
There we go,
to
to release it, but now. Make it good and tight. They even have this nice little handle here, so you can pull it like so. Just to keep this door closed so it's not swinging around, we're going to just hit some bungee cords around it. Go up a little higher here. There we go. Just for some extra security, I'm going to throw a couple straps around the bottom of the cart and around the top of the machine. Because we're moving it downhill on a little bit of a ramp, if it was just being moved for a small, short distance on level surface, I wouldn't really worry about it. It would be fine, as long as you keep your feet out from underneath the machine. But like I said, since we have to go a little bit of a distance, better safe than sorry. So we're going to go up and over. But hold on, I'm going to have to put two straps. So attach that to that. And then let's take it over the top. And this strap also keeps the dolly in snug against the machine, which is what you want. You don't want that to fall out and the machine come down. So we got a good strap going around the top. We got these straps tight around the bottom. It should be good to go. We got Evan over there pulling it. I'm just helping guide it. It actually moves pretty easily. Now, if a vending machine like this ever starts falling, you just get out of the way. You don't try to stop it, because once it tips, it's going to fall, and you don't want to get crushed. Remember, these things are 600 to 700 pounds empty. Now, here is the ramp where it's going to get a little tricky. We want this handle in the back so we can sort of break it and slow it down. Just clears the door. We're good. Hopefully it is going to be narrow enough to fit down this ramp. If it's not,
I don't think it is.
What do we think? Do we think it's going to do it? I think it might.
It will.
It's going to clear. Look at this. It's perfect.
Give it a little.
Now, we're going to make sure that it doesn't roll on the other Evan on that side. So we got two of us here pulling on it so that we don't pick up too much speed coming down this incline. This was the most concerning part of the move. This is why I wanted to make sure I had that top strap on there for extra safety. Look at that. Look at that. That was the hard part. Now it's we're home free. Easy sailing. This is really the biggest they make a stack machine, an 804. It's great to have this capacity. They are very cumbersome when it's time to move them. Once again, this is terrazzo floor, so these machines are going to slide without damaging. We're going to push this machine forward to make room for that. Get that machine in place, drop that machine down. You want to push it? Before we push this into place, I'm just going to get a broom and sweep that dirt out. It's always a good opportunity to clean under your machine when you're moving them. No dollar bill under this machine like the other one, unfortunately. It really is a neat little dolly system that they designed. Now, before I move it completely against the wall, I'm going to plug it in. Always make sure you have a good ground on your plug. If you're missing the ground, put a new plug on this. And then you also want to have about 6 inches, a half a foot space between the back of the machine and the wall. Don't push this all the way against the wall. You won't get good air circulation out from the compressor. Now we're going to take this top strap off, loosen that. Very good. You make sure that there's nothing underneath it, your foot, somebody else's foot. You don't want to be anywhere near that because once you loosen this, it's going to fall somewhat quickly. Pull these in, push it out. Like I said, it falls pretty quickly. But there you go, it's been moved. Now we just take the hooks off, the eye hooks. And now we have to empty that machine into this machine so that we can move this one back up. We don't want to move this full. I've been letting this sell out, but it's not as sold out as the other one was. We'll sort of do a relay, like he'll pull the drinks out and hand them to me, and I'll put them into that machine. And like the Amish say, many hands make light work. I'm just going to pull off the power to the door of this so that students don't bend it because the labels aren't right, the prices aren't right, and I don't want anybody to try to do anything until I get that all set up. Once again, we just stick this underneath. This strap, we pull through the door. Here, you want to grab that, Evan? See it? And then hook it to the eye hook at the bottom. And then I'll give you the other one on the other side. There we go. Even though this isn't as tall as the other one strap is not big enough. You need 2 straps. So now we have the machine in place. I'm just going to lower it. Make sure there's nothing underneath. There we go. Take off the eye hooks. Remove the dollies. And there we go. We're good to go. It's going to need a little leveling, which I'll adjust the feet and then fill it up. and change these labels, change the prices, and we'll be in business. So it's been a week since we moved the machines, and I got them all programmed. This is the Merlin 4 that came from the other entrance. We moved over here, got it leveled pretty good, put the new drinks in here. I decided to go with 6 different variations of Snapple, 3 teas, 3 lemonade Snapples, and then the Powerades that I had been vending in the machine before, and the water. And I am happier with the way it looks with the 2 machines that are the same height rather than the 804, which was taller than the 660. As far as the dolly over here, I'm pretty happy with the dolly. It did make it much easier to move the machine. If I were to review it though, there are a couple issues. First of all, I felt the directions to assemble the dolly could have been a little better written. It was kind of hard to figure out exactly what goes on what dolly. The picture was kind of vague, and the description of how to put it together was kind of vague. And as far as the design, it's very rugged and very heavy duty, and I like that aspect of the dolly. The only thing I think they should do better is maybe add some padding to it on these parts here, because it made marks on my machines, and I probably should have thought into this in advance, like maybe put a towel over this before we jack them together so that the part that was touching the machine would be soft instead of this hard metal. I mean, if you come over here, you'll see the mark on this machine right here cut into the vinyl, and on the 804 it was a bigger cut because that was a bigger, taller, heavier machine, so it dug into that a little bit more. So it would be nice if they had some padding on that to stop that from happening, so you wouldn't have to throw a towel over the dolly or add some padding yourself. The other thing that I think maybe it should come with is a really long strap to go over the top, another ratchet strap. I had my own and went over the top, and that helped, especially with the 804, because that's such a tall machine and you want that extra security as you're moving it around. So it would be nice if it sort of was packaged with that. And here is the 804 moved into its new location, and I got it with all the canned drinks in here now. The most popular out of all these drinks is this mystery selection. I have 2 columns completely filled with mystery selection, and that usually sells out in a week, and that's well over 100 cans, maybe 120 cans in there, so very popular. Students also like the monsters that are in here, but really all of these sell pretty well. Well, hopefully now you know how to move a vending machine with an Anderson dolly, and if you don't have one of the Anderson dollies, you can use an appliance dolly. I just suggest getting one with the legs that kick out so that it doesn't fall back on you. Well, that's all for this episode. As always, happy vending. Hit me on the head.